Hi, my name's Lefty. I've been asked numerous times to get my story out into public, and with my time with Kay, the aircraft was phenomenal, and this is a short clip of my time with her and how it came about and what we did. Thank you for watching. Okay, so here's my story with Kay and when I was with her in the 60s. In the mid-60s, CIA Air Force decided they want to modify 40 B-26s into something that they could use for their purposes. I was in tech school in early 68 and I was trained on F-4s and F-106s and that type of jet. What happened was my first base they sent me to was England Air Force Base in the 603rd Special Operations Group. And in that group, it's all prop jobs. Well, I got there and I said, I don't think I'm in the right place. And the shop chief said, no, you're in the right place. Forget what they just taught you. We're going to reteach you. We're going to go do stuff and we're not going to talk about it. And that's what took place. And so I stayed with them until we phased out in 1969. In December of 69, politics and other things got in the way and they decided to phase out the squadron. So on a Friday, we were a squadron, and on a Monday, we were no longer a squadron. And I went back to quote-unquote regular Air Force, so on F-4Es. So that's my background with Kay. That's weapons loading and gun shop, taking care of the 50 cals, which you see is beside me. We have the nose off of Kay right now for maintenance, and this is the nose piece. It was interchangeable with a glass nose for reconnaissance, but Kay never, that I'm aware of, never had a glass nose. It was always the 850 calibers in the nose. So that's the story of me and this particular airplane. So what happened was the 40 airplanes went to the boneyard. Some of them became water bombers for the forestry department. Some were privately owned. But Kay is very, very rare in that she is the only A26K model out of the 40 that actually is in its original configuration and flies and goes to air shows, and we're able to show her off as a piece of military aviation history that most people don't know about. Back then our squadrons were hush-hush. There was the 603rd that I was in at England Air Force Base, and we were kind of the training squadron. And the other squadron was the 609th at NKP, Nakhon Phanom, Thailand, during the Vietnam era. And they're the ones that had the hard mission of flying and taking care of the trucks and people that were on the Ho Chi Minh Trail giving supplies to the Viet Cong. Now, many years later, I got a phone call from somebody else that was in a different group in the KP. He said, hey, one of your aircraft is out at Meacham Museum, at the Vintage Flying Museum. I said, I don't think so. Nobody knew who we were. The 40 airplanes went to the boneyard and da-da-da-da-da. He said, no, I remember your airplanes and I think one of them is out there. So I called out here to the museum. I said, yeah, I worked on 26s, A26s, B-26s. And the guy said, oh yeah, we have a commemorative Air Force has a beautiful B-26 out here at the museum. I said, oh, I worked on something called a K model. The K suffix was when the modification took place, that suffix turned to K. He goes, oh, you're a K guy. Yeah, you need to come out here. There's a restoration going on this aircraft, and you need to come out and talk to these guys on Saturday morning. So I did. And that was, gee whiz, probably 5 years ago now. And she was finishing up her restoration, getting ready to do first flight. And so I've been kind of helping out on weekends when I can. So that's my affiliation with this airplane. So what I didn't mention earlier was, what are the odds that I live in Fort Worth and then 47, 48 years later, at that point in time, I find out that the first aircraft I ever worked on in 1968 is actually in the same city, same area that I'm in. The odds of that are just slim to none. So that first time I saw this aircraft in the hangar, the very first day, as soon as I saw the airframe, I had goosebumps and the hair stood up in the back of my neck. It's like, I know that airplane. And the crew chief and we sat down, compared dates, and I told him about some things on the airplane that he didn't know. So he goes, yeah, I guess you're the real deal, because, you know, hey, I just walked off the street. He doesn't know me from Adam. So, you know, it all worked out. And I've been with the airplane since, helping out. So it's all been good. You know, has its ups and downs. Right now we're way behind schedule. We're not going to make any air shows for this year, for 2021, but we'll definitely be out doing them for 2022. But in the next few minutes here, I'm going to switch locations and give you a couple details about this aircraft that you don't know about. Here you can see the cockpit is its original configuration. All the instruments work. We did have to install a couple for present day flying required by the FAA. Here you can see the gun bay on the left-hand side. That's a reproduction, obviously, but the ammo cans were hand-built from scratch from a photograph by one of our structure guys on that restoration team. Extraordinary. Well, I'm going to have to apologize. I was at the hangar yesterday and I took some extra film clips of some parts of the airplane in detail, and I was going to show them this episode, but I cannot find them right now, so I apologize. I'm going to have to cut this one short, so please look down below, subscribe, hit the bell or whatever you're supposed to do down there, and comments. I need comments, please, as to what you'd like to see about K or know about K, or any information on K that I can give you with some video clips. So please leave comments below, and we'll see you next time.